T.I., one of hip-hop's most influential figures, isn't known for holding back his opinions, especially when it comes to family matters. Recently, T.I.'s son, King Harris, made headlines for some big life changes, and the rapper didn't shy away from addressing it publicly. What was the tipping point? King, at just 20 years old, has gotten someone pregnant, and this has left his father far from excited. T.I.'s reaction? Public shaming that caught the attention of fans and media alike. But that's not the only issue between them. T.I. and King have a strained relationship that has been in the spotlight for years, and this latest development is just adding fuel to the fire. Stay tuned as we break down exactly what's going on between T.I. and his son, King Harris. King Harris recently made waves when news broke that he had gotten someone pregnant, right? At 20 years old, King is now facing fatherhood, but his dad, T.I., isn't exactly thrilled. During a recent interview, T.I. revealed the news, mentioning that King is about to become a father, making T.I. a grandfather once again. While congratulatory remarks might seem like the expected response, T.I.'s tone suggested otherwise. Rather than celebrating, T.I. delivered his thoughts with a level of sarcasm and shade, saying, "I'm going to make this the greatest gangster of all time. I will raise this child to torture you the way you tortured me." His comments were clearly aimed at King's perceived immaturity and lack of preparedness for fatherhood. T.I.'s words gave the impression that he's more concerned about how King will handle his responsibilities as a parent, rather than celebrating the new addition to the family. T.I.'s concern isn't unwarranted. King's behavior over the past few years has raised many eyebrows, and this situation only heightens the tension between father and son. It's not the first time T.I. has been vocal about King's actions, and it likely won't be the last. The strained relationship between T.I. and King Harris has been well documented. The two have had several public disputes, including a particularly memorable one when King tried to portray himself as someone who grew up in tough conditions. King has repeatedly attempted to position himself as a street kid, much to the confusion of those who know his upbringing. T.I. has called out his son numerous times for this. He's gone on record reminding King that he grew up in a gated community, far removed from the hardships he claims to have experienced. In one heated exchange, T.I. publicly embarrassed King by reminding everyone that King was still sucking on a pacifier well into his teenage years. T.I. even quipped, "Have you ever woke up with a roach on your face? No, because you didn't grow up like that." King's response to these comments wasn't one of humility. Instead, he doubled down, continuing to insist that he's lived through difficult situations. But T.I. wasn't having it. The rapper took every opportunity to remind his son that he grew up with privilege and had no real experience with the streets. This ongoing identity crisis between King's self-perception and his actual upbringing is part of what T.I. has been warning against. T.I. believes King is not fully aware of the consequences of his actions and is worried about the direction King is headed. This constant friction between them has made their relationship more of a public spectacle than a private family matter. King's behavior hasn't just been limited to his public disputes with T.I. He's also had legal run-ins, most notably an arrest 2 years ago that garnered significant media attention. The arrest only deepened the divide between father and son, with T.I. issuing stern warnings to King about the consequences of his actions. T.I. went public with his frustrations, stating that he had already spoken to King about the path he was on. In his own words, T.I. said, "I know my son. I've told his mama. I've told his grandmama. He's going to prison if he keeps this up." This wasn't just a father's idle threat. T.I. was making it clear that King's choices had real-life consequences that no amount of family wealth or influence could shield him from. Ty seemed resigned to the fact that King might have to learn his lessons the hard way. He's gonna have to go through it, and there ain't nothing I can do about it, T.I. said, showing a mix of frustration and helplessness. Despite these warnings, King's behavior hasn't drastically improved, leading many to wonder how prepared he really is for the responsibilities of fatherhood. For T.I., this arrest was just another sign that King wasn't taking life seriously. The rapper made it clear that while he loved his son, there was only so much he could do to steer him in the right direction. At some point, King would have to face the consequences of his actions on his own, without T.I. stepping in to fix things. Now, with the news of King becoming a father, T.I.'s concerns have only grown. In the same interview where T.I. revealed King's impending fatherhood, he made it clear that he wasn't overjoyed by the situation. King's maturity, or lack thereof, has been a recurring theme in T.I.'s discussions about his son, and this new development doesn't seem to have changed his opinion. King, who has continued to portray himself as someone much tougher than he is, doesn't appear to have taken on the mantle of responsibility that fatherhood requires. T.I.'s remark about raising the child to torture King wasn't just a joke, it was a reflection of his frustration over King's perceived inability to grow up and take things seriously. The public reaction to the news has been equally skeptical. Many fans took to social media to question whether King is ready for such a significant life change. Some even joked about King's past immaturity, with one fan commenting, "Last time I remember, he couldn't even spell tomorrow." Another added, "Who let King Harris get them pregnant?" These comments highlight the public perception that King isn't exactly known for being responsible or mature. T.I.'s concerns about King being ready for fatherhood aren't just coming from a place of parental worry. They're grounded in years of observing his son make decisions that haven't always been in his best interest. Now, with a baby on the way, T.I. is left wondering how King will handle the responsibilities that come with being a parent. T.I.'s public shaming of King Harris for impregnating a woman is just the latest chapter in a long and complicated father-son relationship. From King's attempts to project a street image to his brushes with the law and now fatherhood, it's clear that T.I. is deeply concerned about his son's future. While T.I. is known for his no-nonsense approach, his public comments reveal a father who is struggling to balance tough love with the hope that his son will eventually learn from his mistakes. As King embarks on this new journey into parenthood, it remains to be seen whether he will rise to the occasion or continue down a path that has caused friction with his father. T.I.'s commitment to supporting King, despite their differences, suggests that he isn't giving up on his son anytime soon. But the question remains, will King step up and take responsibility, or will this be another chapter in a turbulent story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is T.I. right to publicly criticize his son, or should family matters like this stay private? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more celebrity news and updates. Stay tuned for the next story, and we'll see you in the next video.